screen phone. The Apple iPhone 7 Plus is the best Apple phone you can pick up, available with up to 256 gigabytes. It can cost up to around £1,000, so this is not cheap. But LG still manages to wipe the floor on it when it comes to that display. Quad HD resolution, 564 pixels per inch versus 400, and it's a much smaller device. I'm going to talk more about them in a sec, but before I do, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe. It's how you'll stay on top of everything we do and all our Mobile World Congress coverage. Right, design-wise, they're quite different. You've got a USB-C on here versus a Lightning connector. You've got a headphone jack versus no headphone jack. You've got dual cameras versus those dual cameras around the back, but they do some different things. Now, the fingerprint scanner is at the back of the LG G6 on the front of the iPhone 7 Plus, doubles up as a home button. On the right hand side, power button, and you've got volume controls versus just volume controls on the left here. Now the cameras are 13 megapixels on the G6, but they're larger physical pixels than those found on the G5. In addition to that, wide angle 125 degrees and a 71 degree regular angle. And the front camera is also wide angle 100 degrees, which is super cool. Now the cameras are 2x optical zoom versus a 1x zoom on the iPhone 7 Plus. 12 megapixels. Only one has optical image stabilization, which is a bit of a pain in the tail end. Now, if we take a look at the front camera, it's 7 megapixels, so you do get more resolution in there, even if you don't get necessarily quite as wide an angle. The displays are both IPS screen technology, but you've got much better use of front of the device, the fascia, on the LG G6. It's packing a 5.7-inch Quad HD display, way higher PPI, like I mentioned earlier. Inside those screens, it's two different operating systems, Android 7 versus iOS. Anyone who's used to iOS, you'll know you've got your widgets on the left-hand side. You can also universal search by pulling in, and all your applications are just strewn across your home screen. As for the LG G6, it's a customized version of Android 7. You've got no applications tray by default, but you can switch that on. You can also see you've got a 2-tier notifications tray, so something that's a little bit more stock there. And the user interface is optimized to take advantage of that 2-to-1 screen ratio. The aspect ratio. It's also optimized for videos as well. You've got Dolby Vision in addition to HDR technology, so you're going to have richer, punchier colors than on standard IPS displays. It's all powered along by an Apple A10 processor and a Snapdragon 821. The 821 isn't the same as you found in the Pixel XL, for example. It's an optimized processor to take advantage of those enhanced imaging features like the HDR tech, as well as just optimized for the G6 in general. So hopefully it will knock it out of the park when we get a review device in. And now when it comes to how these two stack up as far as batteries go, you're going to get more milliamps on the LG G6, 3,300 versus around 2,900. But you do have more screen, and Android is generally a less efficient operating system, so we'd anticipate a similar full day out of both devices. But you'll have to check back for our full review before we actually give you anything affirmative on that one. Both will have your latest connections, Cat whatever LTE, the fastest download speeds you can expect. And of course, they are both going to cost a fair bit. Like I said, you can pick up the iPhone for around £1,000 if you get the highest capacity version. And we anticipate this to drop at around £500 to £550 when it does later this year. And that, my friends, is how the LG G6 stacks up against Apple's flagship. The G6's screen just wins out every single time. One thing I didn't mention, you've got stereo speakers, IP6 on the iPhone, IP68 water and dust resistance across both as well, which is a really great touch too. Expandable storage on the G6, 32 gigabytes by default, and it's available in a 64 gig version as well, up to 2 terabytes of micro SD card. Loving. So yeah, let us know any questions you have in the comment section below. Like this video, click like the channel, subscribe. It's how you'll stay on top of everything we do.